In the shadow of a house that just lost someone to Ebola, a play of sorts has come to this corner of Monrovia. Health workers hamming it up a bit to keep the curious engaged because they have to be heard. They're telling a story about what to do if someone falls ill, and this could save lives.
It's hard enough to get the message about Ebola and the right thing to do to the most vulnerable of people, but then there's a whole other component to it. What do you do with the people who are left behind? And especially, what do you do if they're children?
Just down the laneway is one woman with one idea of how to help. American Katie Myler runs a nonprofit group called More Than Me, educating the neediest of girls in Monrovia for years. But when Ebola hit, she knew they had to fill a gap for kids whose parents have succumbed to the virus and everyone else is too scared to care for them.
Our house, we were making this house not so much for orphans. It was for orphans and children who have been in contact with Ebola, and nobody kind of wants to take them in because they're afraid.
There are at least 2,000 Ebola orphans in Liberia. Will soon be more. And Myler's small group is scrambling to make safe, clean spots for 60 of those children right here. Watch over them for the 21-day quarantine period and try to get them care if they show symptoms. A start with a surprise first visitor. Spotted last week at this, an Ebola survivor ceremony, supposed to be joyous. Myler was watching and couldn't take her eyes off this sad little face.
She was there crying and everybody else was kind of celebrating. And when I asked them what happened, they're like, her parents died. They told me.
Her name is Esther, and that day at the ceremony with her parents gone, no one was there to take her home or anywhere.
I told the people at the hospital if she wants to stay with me for the night, because I know that the ministry actually has some plan for orphans coming, or they're getting something ready. She can stay, she has a place to stay where I'll care for her, love her, and she can have movies, and until the ministry can come and get her.
Right. So you're pretty attached.
Yeah, I got attached to her.
Of course she did.
Hello, baby girl.
Wow,
Now young Esther, who says she's 8, maybe more, is only just starting to talk.
You like to color?
Can we color?
Still weak from what Ebola did, but virus-free, of no threat to anyone. Nurses keep her well, and there's a kindergarten teacher starting to win her over.
She was so happy yesterday, so very happy. We have a lot to talk about. We dance all day.
She's been to Faya, and she's discovered Esther loves movies, apparently not the penguin cartoons. It's Barbie who has her full attention.
Whenever she watches Barbie movies, more especially Barbie the Swan Lake, she loves it.
Barbie and Swan Lake.
Yeah. She loves that movie.
Favorite movie.
Yeah.
What they'd love to know is if she has a brother or sister. She hasn't opened up about that yet. Maybe the Ministry of Health knows. It's trying to trace family willing to take her. Esther didn't realize it at this moment, but the ministry had plans for her, to remove her to an orphanage. Katie Myler, though, knew it was coming and couldn't get it out of her mind.
The brutal, honest truth is it's hard. I mean, it's really, really hard.
They'll try to stay in touch with her and try to get ready for what could be the arrival of so many more Esthers.
And sure enough, within the last few days, the Ministry of Health did come to take Esther to an orphanage. The team from More Than Me say they were checking in on the place. They have checked in on Esther. They're trying to find a way to make sure that she can continue to get at least a bit of an education.
Well, so Adrienne, I guess in thinking about the crisis and keeping people alive, we forget about basics like education.
Well, you're right. I can tell you that education is a mess in a place like Liberia right now. You see, the schools have been ordered closed for some time now because of the Ebola outbreak. And there's a bit of a plan to try to put a national schooling program via radio in place, but it hasn't started yet. So the kids are really still a little bit lost in an awful lot of ways. Kim?
All right. Thanks, Adrienne.